But I am suggesting there's something deeply weird in that relationship where he will take Putin's side every single time over the rest of the entire world. Why? Why?
It is that thing where he's, overused term alert, flip-flopping on his own point of view. And it's like a bad sitcom, like Three's Company, like there's a date on
Right,
each
you said
floor.
bad sitcom.
Yeah, what the hell, Jodi?
Sorry. But, or the plot of that great sitcom, Three's
Thank
Company.
you, better.
I'm listening.
Where there's a date on each floor and Jack has to keep them both entertained.
It's so funny when that happens.
It's just a big misunderstanding.
How does he juggle all those boobs?
So wait, is Putin Mr. Furley in this scenario? It's Have I Got News for Your Ears, the podcast satellites of the Have I Got News for You cinematic mothership. I am your host, Michael Ian Black, joined as always by Jodi Lennon, Jim Biederman, producers of the Have I Got News for You television program, in my head spelled in the American version to distinguish it from the British version, which I would have spelled mentally with 2 M's and an E. Hello.
2 M's and an E.
Program.
Oh, program.
Oh.
Programming.
Yeah, programming. That's how they spell things over in Mary.
They the Brits.
Yeah.
So we say hignify, right? Have I got news for you?
Yeah.
And
they
in
say
the hallways, we say hignify.
Hignify.
In the hallways, we say hignify because we don't have time.
We don't have time.
We're so busy.
We're doing those Sorkin walk and talks, and we only have seconds.
Right. They say hignify.
Hignify.
I said, what do you say, signify? Do you say signify or signify? Bam! I caught him.
They're an ancient people and a stupid people, a very, very stupid people.
Wow.
I know you don't like London, right?
It's not that I don't like London. I think London is overhyped, and to me, London is essentially fancy Milwaukee. I like London fine. It's no Rome, which I love.
And you spent time there.
I spent 3 months living there. My dog is farting like you would not believe.
Oh
my God. I was trying to identify what was happening in my
You
nose.
said, well, it can't be Jim because he's not here.
No, it never even occurred to me that it was you. Jodi, on the other hand, but then I looked over and there's a dog anus not 2 feet from me. And I realized that's what's happening. Oh my God. I'm watching. Have you guys seen the show Slow Horses? On
Yes,
Apple TV?
my favorite TV show of all time.
Don't get Jim started on it.
I fucking love that show.
Well, of course you do, because it's about a misanthrope. So, of course, you could not identify more.
And he farts a lot, which,
yes.
Bam, 2 in a row right there. Yes, so big news starting from Friday. It continues today. It continues to spill over. Our In the News Cup runneth over.
As always.
Because of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Putin and Trump met in Alaska.
Oh, Jim, I mean, you and the MAGA talking points, just blaming Ukraine for everything. Because of Ukraine? It's not because of Ukraine that our news cup runneth over. It's because of Russia. Because of Russia.
Well, I guess you say potato, I say potato.
You spell it program, I spell it program.
You say hignify, I say hignify. But setting up that whole agenda for Trump really was talking tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Big plans.
He said that there would be some very, very severe consequences.
Yes, he did.
Should Putin not essentially play ball in his Nobel peace plan?
I see what you did, Jim.
Yeah, here's Trump.
Will Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
What will the consequences
there will be
be?
consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences, yes.
My understanding is the war has not stopped. And so I'm, what are the severe consequences?
Well, you know, Putin is a mastermind of psyops, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And you know, when you're looking at an opponent as steel trap, as Donald J. Trump is, like just a, how do I get in there? How do I permeate that fortress?
How do I crack this code?
I can't debug it.
Let's get some of those British scientists over here from the Enigma Project.
Yes. We'll just keep running it until we solve it.
Now, if I were advising Putin,
Yes. What would you do?
What would you tell Putin? How was the best?
Let's hear
the
it.
best way to treat, again, the steel trap mind of Donald J. Trump?
so the first thing I would do is say, can we just bring suitcases full of money?
Good guess, but no.
And if we can't do that, at least publicly, maybe just tell him how great he is. Just flatter the man, you know?
Cherry, hang on. I hope you brought a bucket to keep all that change that's going to come out of that machine. Here we go.
Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like, and trustworthy contact.
I love that.
I love it. A couple things before we get into the blatant. I just want to say mindfuck. I don't know how anyone could fight that. It's so brilliant.
It reminds me when I spoke with master hypnotist and Dilbert author Scott Adams.
Oh my God.
Is he also a hypnotist?
Oh, master hypnotist.
Oh,
master hypnotist.
Sorry, excuse me. Is he also a master hypnotist?
Yes.
Wow.
And I fell sway before him like you would not believe. My entire worldview shifted.
So you're saying he's not only a chronicler of corporate ennui.
No.
He's also
a master hypnotist. And listening to Vladimir Putin, I wonder whether he took Scott Adams' master hypnosis course. Because
I think he did like a master class in that.
Spellbinding. And I listening to that, I have to agree with him too. But thankfully, our strong president would not have fell.
Of course not.
For such obvious psyops. But the word that struck me out of that exchange was he described their relationship as a business-like partnership.
Cordial, incredibly cordial.
But what that said to me is, behind closed doors, Vladimir is saying, hey, you know what? After this presidency is over, we've got some real estate over there in the Kremlin, right next door.
Oh.
Kremlin view real estate that is prime for development.
Yeah.
And we could easily see a Trump Tower or two going up right on Red Square. That's what I'm guessing that sentence meant.
100%. 100%.
He brought the suitcases of cash, just verbal cash.
So what do you think, just generally, the response was to that Putin's performance with Trump in Alaska?
From the media's perspective or from Trump's perspective?
From the media's, from Trump's perspective, we already know the answer to that.
Right. Now, I will be honest. I have not watched the news. I'm on a news blackout.
Yeah.
So
You're in the Poconos.
I'm guessing it went over about as well as his last meeting with Putin when he said that he trusted Putin over the findings of our intelligence services.
Well, yes, that's true. And that's what you would expect from like a Pinko MSNBC or Pinko CBS or a Pinko ABC or Pinko NBC or a Pinko PBS. But surprisingly, I'm going to add Pinko Fox.
What?
Oh.
The way that it felt in the room was not good. It did not seem like things went well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his photo next to the president and then left.
That's not good. I mean, when Fox is doing that, that's not good.
Yeah.
Very biased. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Pinko Fox. Pinko Fox. Man, they get sued by Dominion or wherever it is, and all of a sudden they change their tune.
So did Trump respond to that?
He didn't really respond to that, but he did. Kind of his next step was not to respond to that, but to send a message to Zelensky on apparently the worldwide messaging service known as Truth Social.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah,
The cryptocurrency company, Truth Social?
correct. The same.
Yes.
The same.
President Trump appeared to preview the message he'll deliver in the hours ahead in a social media post. He said Zelensky can, quote, end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight, before making clear the Ukrainian president will have to give up Crimea and agree to never join NATO.
Yes, it's very easy to end a war if you surrender. That's the easiest, simplest way to end a war, is you just give in to whatever your conquestor would like. Yes, I mean, what is he saying there? He's not saying anything. And
No.
he's coming, and this is his post-Putin meeting where he says he's going to be tough on Putin, and then he is not. And then he turns around and starts yelling at Zelensky for not surrendering. I honestly don't understand his interpretation of this war. I really don't. I mean, I know he blames Biden for some reason. For
You're talking about Trump. You're talking about Trump.
Yes,
Yeah.
for invading Ukraine. But I don't understand his constantly blaming Zelensky for getting invaded. I really don't. It's
Well, I
just-
mean, the way I look at it is I see like they bring in those, you know, in his words, pencil-necked eggheads to explain the 1,000-year history of Russia and Ukraine, and then the Soviet Empire. He literally just starts farting out of his ears because it just is so much information, and he just reduces it to, look, he invaded and they fought back, and Putin got angry and give it to him. Like it's like he's that simple. He's fucking blood simple is what he is. He's blood simple.
But it's more than that, because it's got something to do with his relationship with Putin. I'm not suggesting a conspiracy. I'm not suggesting a P-tape. I'm not suggesting compromat. But I am suggesting there's something deeply weird in that relationship where he will take Putin's side every single time over the rest of the entire world. Why?
It is that thing where he's, overused term alert, flip-flopping on his own point of view. And it's like a bad sitcom, like Three's Company, like there's a date on
Right,
each
you said
floor.
bad sitcom.
Yeah, what the hell, Jodi?
Sorry. But, or the plot of that great sitcom, Three's
Thank
Company.
you. Better.
I'm listening.
Where there's a date on each floor and Jack has to keep them both entertained.
It's so funny when that happens.
It's just a big
How
misunderstanding.
does he juggle all those boobs?
So wait, is Putin Mr. Furley in this scenario?
He's not Chrissy Snow.
Okay.
But yeah, he's just.
If you're saying if you're saying it's a farce, I would agree. Because when I think of Three's Company, what do I think of? Moliere. And so when I think of Moliere, I think of
A French farce.
Yes, the French
bedroom
farce.
farce. Yeah.
Yes, a classic bedroom farce, which is
Well,
what this
you-
is. And
Are you one of
now
the-
we're back to the P tape. And I didn't want to go there, but I think, Jodi, you just proved that the P tape is real.
Yeah.
By God, you proved it through a Three's Company analogy. Logic, the deductive reasoning is inescapable.
Le P-tape, c'est vrai. So fast forward to Monday. So we have a kind of a weekend of parsing the ass kissing / whatever you want to call it.
We
By the
call
way,
it.
did you see how excited Trump was in Alaska when? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing this.
And there was a red carpet. There was a lot of pomp and circumstance.
I also like the thing in front of them, the cutout, Alaska 2025.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the pomp. I really don't. It's like you want to roll out a red carpet for a murderer. Fine, if it's going to end the war in a way that's favorable.
Yeah.
But I like do whatever you got to do. But that's not what this was.
No, you know why? This was Alaska 2025. Fast forward to yesterday, Zelensky, in a kind of brilliant, I would say brilliant, not checkmate, but check, bringing with him his posse, if you will, who I think was every major EU prime minister, president, ministers, whatever they are.
He was rolling deep.
He was rolling deep. Yeah. Here is their meeting, part of their meeting in the White House, in the Oval Room. Tell me if you notice anything that will irritate you. Then we can also talk about.
Is it just going to be one thing?
Here it is. Right. Here it is.
Well, look, the war is going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, I've done 6 wars. I've ended 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one, and it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one.
I'm talking about the increasing Costco.
That's why I asked if it was just one thing.
Well, now there's a fireplace guard. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, sure. I don't need the White House to resemble whatever the presidential palace is in Azerbaijan. Like we don't need that. The point of speaking softly and carrying a big stick is that we don't need to demonstrate that the United States is a wealthy country. Not that this is doing that, but that I think is his interpretation of throwing gold shit on walls, is that it looks rich. I mean, I love his optimism. It's going to be the easiest one. He said he'd get it done within a day. And, as he said later, I was being sarcastic, apparently.
Yes.
He said that later. I wasn't lying. He said I was being sarcastic. Donald, tell them you was being sarcastic, of course. Donald, please.
Donald, I want to drink your blood.
He is drinking Donald's blood, too.
I think and Monday's press conference really in the White House, apart from the beautiful decor. Beautiful.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
Zelensky looks good in the suit.
He does.
Yeah. I know he got shit. I know we were mad about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's a real upgrade.
So what do you think it means? Like, what was his
That
suit
he got a tailor. He finally found a tailor. Is what it means. I think what it means is I think that's a peace offering. He's saying, you want me to wear a suit? I'll wear a suit. You want me to kiss your ass? I'll kiss your ass. You want me to look at your stupid hats and your stupid bookcase? I will admire them, and I will flatter them as much as Vladimir Putin ever did. You obvious whoopee cushion. You stupid moron.
Human whoopee cushion.
Yeah,
So,
it did.
I do like that asshole Fox reporter who said, "Do you not own a suit?" the last time, right? This time said, first of all, I apologize. You're wearing a suit. It's great. And they had a bill back and forth. And Zelensky, man, king of the zingers, said, yes, I got the suit. I see you're wearing the same one from before.
Yeah. All those soup stains on the tie, the giveaway.
You fucking bastard.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Zelensky impresses the fuck out of me and how fast he is. And also just, you're right. He did all the ass kissing, but he did it with attitude. He did not back down at all.
No,
I mean, I don't know anything about the guy other than he's a comedian.
Correct.
And, but he has, I mean, he's handled this thing about as well as anybody could possibly handle it. He's kept most of the world on his side. He's isolated Russia. He hasn't lost. I mean, that's the main thing. He hasn't lost his country, and he never left. That was such an important moment when the war first started. Yeah, he's admirable as anybody.
This exchange, which, well, I'm just gonna play it. I'm not even gonna set it up. I'm just gonna play it.
Your team has talked about security guarantees. Could that involve U.S. troops? Would you rule that out in the future?
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also, and we'll be talking about that. They'll all be involved, but there'll be a lot of help when it comes to security. There's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe, but we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
It's kind of like, I'm going to, it could be, and then not, and then maybe it is. But of course it is. But you're not right. I don't know. Who are you? Where am I?
But just to our point, Zelensky is doing a masterful performance. Zelensky is doing this. Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, you're on a roll. Go, baby, go. Yeah, baby, it's jazz in here, baby. Just go.
They had this really weird exchange. Well, I don't know if it's weird, but Zelensky, just watch Zelensky's face, and then you'll see.
Yes, we have to do safety circumstances, and a little bit we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections?
And they all laugh. Even Trump kind of smiles, but you can see the thought process of, wait a minute. If I have a war, I don't have to have an election, say 3 years from now.
It's more than seeing the thought process. It's also hearing it.
Yes.
It's
seeing
right
the
there.
delight.
It's in the room. There's the edges of the mouth go up a little bit. The distant stare into 3.5 years from now.
You just say it not for nothing, but let's say, hypothetically, if 3.5 years from now you're in a war, I'm not saying not for nothing, hopefully you won't be. You're saying there won't be elections 3.5 years, maybe in November, you wouldn't have November elections. It's.
I do have to clarify something. Back to the other exchange where Trump talked about the possibility of our troops working with Ukraine. On Fox this morning, Trump negated that whole possibility.
Along the lines of he's full of shit, and also weird, bad, right? All roads lead back to his and Putin's relationship. There was a hot mic incident during the White House peace party. Mm-hmm. That I hope the volume is good. We can hear it, but where he basically says that he can get Putin to do whatever he wants. Here it is.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand that? As crazy as it sounds.
He makes it sound as if he thinks he's playing Putin in some capacity, that Putin admires him in some capacity.
Isn't that crazy? As crazy as it sounds.
The guy loves me. I can't explain it. He loves me.
Melania doesn't even love me. I don't know how.
But he doesn't. It's like he can't take it the next step. His ego will not allow him to see the obvious, that what everybody else in the entire world can see, which is that he has become, whether witting or unwitting, Russia's greatest intelligence asset.
Oh, God damn.
It's the craziest thing. Like in spy movies, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe how easy it is for somebody to manipulate the president of the United States. Nobody would believe it until maybe they saw. You go, well, nobody. Until they saw the decor in the Oval Office, and they'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe this guy.
Yeah. No, maybe the guy. Yeah, maybe that Nazi.
But to make a deal for me.
For me, exactly.
It's for me.
Yes. Because he doesn't understand. All the three of us, our IQ collectively is below the median average, and we understand.
We understand. I started to understand when we started talking about hamburgers.
By the way, great segue to the way the meeting ends. There's discussion on a trilateral meeting, which would be us, and between Zelensky, Putin, Trump, and this is Zelensky talking about it.
Oh, I thought the segue was going to be that he was going to provide McDonald's like he did for the.
By the way, don't give him any ideas. Here we go.
What is very important that all the sensitive things, territorial, etc., we will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come. Ukraine will be happy if you
both
participate.
want me there, I will be there. Yeah, you know that.
Thank you.
That we have to play this game. That you have to play this game. Going, I mean, we would like very much for you to come. It would be important if you were there. I will. I'll now that you ask.
Let me preface it by saying thank you for everything. Thank you again for everything, and we would love it if you would come, and if you would wear one of those hats. Would you wear one of the hats?
I'll be there. We love it. If you
Ukraine.
both want me there, I'll be there. I'll
be there.
I'll find the time.
We're going to rename Kyiv in your honor, Mr. President.
I could make it. I could probably make it.
Okay.
I have a lot going on.
But. I was going to walk around on the roof that day, but maybe I'll.
Such a freak.
So, I have files to look at.
Yeah.
I have files to destroy, actually.
Yeah. Then kind of like as a surprise.
Pam, where's that shredder I asked for?
Pam. And then almost like as a well, I have a little surprise for you, Zelensky. He lays this out.
So we're going to be meeting for a while, and we're going to discuss some of the issues. And I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. It's at a point now where people want to do things. I really do believe, I've known him for a long time. I've always had a great relationship with him. I think that President Putin wants to find an answer too. And we'll see. And in a certain period of time, not very far from now, a week or 2 weeks, we're going to know whether or not we're going to solve this, or is this horrible fighting going to continue? We'll do the best to get it ended.
By the way, the old 2-week canard.
Yeah, why does he always put a deadline on stuff? Like 1 day, first day in, 2 weeks out.
Yeah, first day in April. Not April 2nd.
It's a verbal tick, and the verbal tick is, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just his way of saying, I don't know. That entire monologue was him saying, I don't know. I don't know. The monologue was him saying, I don't know anything.
Here's the transcription. So we're going to be meeting for a while, and we're going to discuss some of the issues.
Right.
Fair enough. I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. Well, then why discuss them?
Also, I can think of at least one complex issue, which is the war.
Well,
now
that you mention it, yeah, maybe.
That feels like a complex issue to me. But I'm not a military historian, so what do I know?
But look, we spent a lot of time on it between Friday and Monday. And how long has this war been going on? When did they invade Crimea? What was it? 2014. So what is it? 2014. So that's kind of Friday to Monday. And he says this. I think it's at a point now where people want to do things. I do. Okay. I really do believe. I've known him for a long time. Period. That's the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the same transcript from a cable provider when you have an issue with your internet.
We're going to meet, and we're going to try to get things done, and I want to. Yeah. He wants to. I know there's a lot of lag, but it's not that complex.
I pay for your service. I don't understand why I haven't had service this Saturday. I like you guys. I think you're great. Yeah, I'll hold. What are you going to do? Threaten the cable company. I think that President Putin wants to find an answer to, period. And we'll see.
Thank you, everybody, for coming so that we could come to this consensus. I just want to, the fact that we got to this point where we're going to discuss issues and we'll see, I just want to say thank you, guys.
Look,
Really,
this has been hours in the making. This has been half hours in the making. And I'm exhausted. We're all tired. Because you know what we do? We put our whatever to the grindstone.
All right, golf is on. I got to go.
Yeah, I got to. Shit, what time is it? Look at the time.
My guest this week is a sketch comedy and sitcom legend, and I plan to ask him for his hand in marriage during the next season of Have I Got News for You, just to secure my Canadian citizenship. It is Dave Foley. Hi, Dave.
Hello, and I'm so glad you got all the way to legend.
Let me ask you about that word, because every now and again people describe me as a comedy legend, and it always makes my skin crawl.
Well, legend is the polite way of saying wasn't as successful as he should have been. It's a way you tell your friends that you should know who this guy is, but you don't.
Well, why don't we start with the Canada part of this whole thing?
Oh,
because
all right.
you are Canadian, but
I am
you
Canadian,
live,
yes,
and you work in the States.
I've been in the U.S. for 30 years on a green card.
So you are ready to be deported.
Yes, yeah, and likely not to Canada. That never seems to be on the menu
Right.
for these assholes.
Rwanda or some such place.
Yeah, Libya. If they could deport people to 1938 Germany, they would.
They're working on it.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile kind of what's going on between our two countries? How do you make peace with it, or is it even such a thing possible at this point?
I think Canadians generally have really good feelings about Americans, for the most part.
And by the way, and those feelings are returned. We feel very warm towards our northern neighbors.
Oh no, yeah. Until recently, well, now. But then again, there's you have this whole division of Americans. It's some sort of a new sub breed of American called MAGA, and they just hate whoever they're told to hate. So all these people are suddenly hating Canada. I'm sure they don't know anything about Canada. I'm sure they couldn't find it on a map, but they all hate Canada suddenly.
It actually occurred to me for the first time, and I'm kind of wondering, would you say there's something very specifically Canadian about Kids in the Hall? Because it feels very Canadian to me, but I don't know if that's because I always knew you guys were Canadian, or if there's something inherently Canadian about that sketch group.
I mean, I guess we're pretty Canadian in a lot of ways. One way we're like as opposed to like Monty Python in England or all English comedians, none of us are educated. Or none of us are terribly bright. I think there's a lack of meanness to the Kids in the Hall that I think is very Canadian. Like, I don't think we ever did any comedy that was particularly mean to anybody.
No, I'm trying to think of like I'm mentally comparing you guys to like SCTV, and it does seem like there's a lot of overlap there because they also weren't mean, and they also it seemed sort of warm and good-natured, but also silly and absurd, and you guys have all of those same qualities in a way that I feel like American sketch troupes, including my own, The State, didn't really have. Like we were very like aggressive. I don't know that we were mean, but we were like aggressive and sort of sharp-elbowed, and you guys were sort of the opposite of that. And you have endured, and we have not. So there you go.
Yeah, but I think everyone in the state has been more successful than everyone in the Kids in the Hall.
Well,
I mean, sure, you had the advantage of numbers over us, but
that's right.
Because you had 30 members.
You're lowballing it, yeah.
Okay, but see, it was
in the low hundreds.
I think I think that aggressiveness and self-confidence on the part of members of the state has paid off. Or more to the point, I think it's that that Americans have a feeling of greatness. There's just even amongst liberal Americans, there's just an underlying sense that America is great, which on a good day Canadians will go, we're okay. That's on Canada
We're
Day.
pretty good at curling. We're
Yeah.
pretty good at curling.
Yeah, July 1st, we will stand up and say, Canada isn't so bad. Let's light off some fireworks, but not too many fireworks, because a lot of people have to get to bed early.
See, I feel like, and maybe this is why, people always assume I'm Canadian. And maybe that's why, because I'm much more attracted to that. I'm much more attracted to we're fine, but we're no better than anybody else. And we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses, as opposed to what you just described, that sense of American greatness, that sense of America does great things. Well, sometimes we do. And then sometimes we invade countries for no reason or support, genocides, that sort of thing.
It's, there's the yin and the yang of America, I suppose.
How have you found living as an immigrant in the States?
Well, I made an early decision to be a white immigrant.
Smart.
Which I think was very clever
smart.
on my
Yes.
behalf.
And I feel like you've only gotten whiter as the years have passed.
Oh my God, it's true. There are times I can't sleep because of the reflected light coming off my own skin. Whatever cat's eyes are made of is what I'm made of.
I don't know how to say this, but you sort of said it. Like, as a white dude, how do you process what is happening to people who are maybe less white, but share your immigrant status and share a lot of probably your life experience, having come from somewhere else to be here?
People who have carelessly not been white in America. Well, for one thing, I'm also I was married for quite a long time to a Mexican American. My daughter is Latina, and I have a great many in-laws who are Mexican, who I love very much, and I fear for them. I fear for those relatives those who might be undocumented in the country, but I also fear just about equally for anyone who fits a profile in America, because I don't think it's not going to be restricted. It's too reckless and too cruel, the process right now for them to effectively focus on just certainly they're not focusing on the criminal element, as they claimed. They're not focusing on rapists and murderers. They're so yeah, I worry about anyone with brown skin in this country right now, because I think we've seen citizens being beaten savagely by unidentified thugs wearing masks, and citizens being actually taken out of the country because they don't have their papers handy. I mean, this isn't a question of securing borders anymore. I mean, it really is. How do you keep people distracted and angry enough to support fascism? And that's the thing. The fascists, they learned it a long time ago that this technique works. So we're sitting here and we're watching it play out. In almost not even in real time, in accelerated time. If Hitler were alive today, he'd go, "Oh my God, they're good. They're so efficient. Those Americans. Oh, we should start buying their cars. They must be great." Everything that we're seeing right now in America is the natural progression of a 30-year project started by Ronald Reagan, which was the project of undermining faith in government, undermining faith in science, undermining faith in basically in any authority.
Rationality.
Teaching people to only trust their emotions. And creating an uneducated populace that is ununionized. He tried to get rid of unions.
Yeah, but he was so charming. He liked jelly beans. How can I be mad at the guy?
And he told charming stories that some
sure
of them
did.
he thought were true.
Yeah, it really has been a half-century long project to get us to where we are right now, and where we are right now is terrible, which is why perhaps so many of us cast our eyes to the skies and see what better objects might be out there that aren't man-made. You and I share a fascination with what is sometimes called UFOs and sometimes called UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomenon. How did your interest in this topic emerge?
Well, I mean, it's a lifelong interest. I think going back to to being a kid and watching the British TV series UFO. So that's the first time I heard of UFOs. But then throughout my life, I was sort of interested in it, but it would go up and down. I think in '97, when the Phoenix Lights happened, that kind of raised the interest quite a bit.
So that reignited your interest.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, the French government put out a thing called the Cometa Report, which was put together. It was scientists, military, psychologists, police, doing a study of all the UFO sightings in France. And at the end of their study, they put out a paper called the Cometa Report, and the Cometa Report said UFOs are real, and that an extraterrestrial explanation is most likely the truth. And I thought, that seems important.
And then you yourself had your first UFO sighting not that long ago. Can you tell us about it?
I did. This was about 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. Maybe 4 years ago now. So I had decided to, I had seen a movie called Out of the Blue by James Fox. That really got me going, oh my God, this is a really much more serious and important story than I really realized. And so I started talking about UFOs and things publicly. And as a result of that, I wound up getting Joe Rogan back into the UFO story when I was going to go on his podcast. And that led to him watching a movie called Bob Lazar, Area 51 and the Flying Saucers, that my friend Jeremy Corbell made. And I hadn't met Jeremy, but because I talked about Jeremy on Joe's podcast, I wound up meeting Jeremy. We became friends. But neither of us had ever seen anything until one night we were out walking his dog, sort of out in the countryside, down a country road surrounded by orange groves. And it was a beautiful night, very clear. I was watching all the commercial air traffic off in the distance. And I said sort of offhandedly to Jeremy, I said, Jeremy, this would be a good night to see something. And about 30 seconds later, he goes, Dave, turn around. And we saw this orangey gold object pulsing in the distance on the horizon, right where I had been watching the commercial air traffic. And it was, about 10 times larger than anything in the sky. And we watched this thing, the two of us wordlessly, silently wound up watching this thing circling the valley we were in until it got right in front of us. And it hung in front of us for about a minute and then went off behind the mountains.
Well, what do you mean it hung right in front of you? Like how far away?
It's hard to judge, but I would say like less than half a mile, maybe like even just like 500 meters away.
And this may be an odd question for people not immersed in this field, but did you have the sense that it knew you were there?
Yes. Not only that it knew we were there, it showed up because I asked for it. It showed up because I asked for it, and then it made it very clear that this was for us to see by traveling over this big valley and literally stopping in front. The only time it stopped was right in front of us. And it hung in the sky in like a 3/4 position to us, the way you do for your passport photo, so that you have the maximum information. So it hung like that in front of us. And again, all the time that it was traveling, it made no noise. And we both guessed it was about the size of a Mack truck, probably. And then it went away. And there was a sense to me that the thing that we were looking at was controlling our response to it, because neither one of us got excited.
The thing that you were looking at, you got the sense, was controlling your response to it. That's a hell of a claim to make.
Yeah, because neither one of us behaved in any way that I would describe as normal or natural in that situation. Jeremy's a documentary filmmaker about UFOs. Jeremy's a guy who practices getting his phone out and having the settings ready to capture a UFO. He has a Samsung phone with a good telephoto lens on it because he wants to be able to capture these things. And so suddenly this thing takes a leisurely little trip around us and hangs in front of us. And not only did neither of us get excited, neither of us say anything, except at one point Jeremy goes, "I'm not even going to take a picture." And that's the only words either of us said for the whole experience. And which to me felt like maybe Jeremy was fighting it, and that was the best he could do. But yeah, and as I said, even after it left, we were still neither of us. We only talked about it. Like as soon as it went out of our visual field, Jeremy went, "Dude, that was a UFO."
Maybe I don't know where you are on this stuff, but that aspect to me is way more interesting than the nuts and bolts aspect of it. The sense that this thing was interacting with you in some sense, not only at the time, but afterwards. I find that a kind of remarkable thought.
And I would say even to this day, like there's an inexplicable lack of emotion in the experience for me. Like I still feel no emotional connection to what I saw, which doesn't make sense to me.
So we had a similar experience because I also saw something similar to what you described. When I was in high school, I saw a glowing, what we now call orbs, but I had no frame of reference for it. The closest thing in my mind at the time was fireball, was the word that came to mind. But what was notable to me, in addition to seeing it, was similar to what you're talking about, because I was with two people, neither of whom afterwards remembered the event, which led me to believe that either I was making it up, that I had just created some sort of false memory for some reason, or the far more unsettling explanation is what you're just describing, that there is some sort of interaction that happens where people react in ways that don't make sense, that don't make logical sense.
Yeah, and but the other thing is, the cool thing right now is that they're trying again to get the UAP Disclosure Act added to the NDAA, which is the funding for the military. And
I'll quickly tell people what this is, because to me it's the most remarkable piece of legislation that maybe has ever been written. And it was crafted by Chuck Schumer, the Democratic minority leader, along with
Mike Rounds. Mike Rounds and Chuck Schumer, political enemies.
Right. And what this bill would do would essentially mandate the disclosure of any craft that the U.S. may be in possession of, that are in the hands of private industry, as well as biological material that may have been associated with these things, and to essentially declassify all the information related to this field.
Non-human intelligence and non-human technology. So they use the term non-human intelligence 24 times in the legislation.
Right. And it's also worth noting that Chuck Schumer, as a high-ranking Democrat, was in the Gang of Eight, which is the 8 senators and House leaders who are read into basically everything. So is Rounds, so is Marco Rubio, another sort of noted proponent of what we call disclosure.
Marco Rubio and Kristen Gillibrand worked together on legislation previous to that as well.
So what did these guys know? The bill itself seems to suggest they know a lot.
Yes. Well, they are definitely a lot of people involved in this who I politically could not support on anything. Right. But yeah, and I guess you basically in the House you mostly have like Jason Moskowitz is the most vocal
Jared,
Democrat.
Right, Jared.
Jared Moskowitz. You're right. Jared Moskowitz. He's the most vocal Democrat. But you did have a hearing, in which you had, AOC and Tim Burchett, sitting on the same panel.
And when he was still in office.
Yeah, all being polite to each other.
Yes. So if nothing else, maybe this topic can bring us a little bit closer together. Getting back to Reagan, who famously said, "I often wonder what would happen if an extraterrestrial species invaded Earth, how all of our differences among humanity would instantly evaporate." And we like to think that's the case. I'm no longer convinced.
I'm not convinced of it. No, people will find reasons to, we can look at even our own beloved Democratic Party, who should mostly agree on everything, but spend most of their time tearing each other apart. So I think humanity probably will fare similarly. But also you had Reagan. People should point out, like, Reagan saw a UFO when he was governor of California, when he was traveling in his official jet.
I did not know that.
They tried to follow one.
Interesting.
So he saw a UFO and reported it. Jimmy Carter witnessed a UFO, and he reported it and tried to find out about it. So there's a lot of, and
Bill Clinton famously tried to get to the bottom of it. Barack Obama tried to get to the bottom of it.
admitted after getting out of office that there are craft flying around that we can't explain.
Right. So we have many presidents of the United States essentially saying, without saying, these things are real. Even Trump has kind of alluded to it, although
Yes.
he alludes to a lot of things and nobody ever knows quite what he's talking about.
If you're somebody who wants disclosure and you thought Trump was going to be the disclosure president, you seriously underestimated how fucking stupid he is, and that he can't keep a thought straight in his head for more than a few minutes. Like even when he was talking on his son's podcast, and he doesn't know the difference between Roswell, New Mexico, and Area 51. Right. And he claimed that Area 51 is the biggest tourist attraction in the world. It's not.
Has he never been to Joplin, Missouri?
No. I mean, it's like, no, Mr. President, Area 51 that you're in charge of, they will shoot you if you go in there.
That's right.
They have signs up saying we're allowed to kill you.
And now ICE has those signs. They just don't display them because they don't display any identification.
No.
Well, Dave Foley, it strikes me once again that in many ways we are the same guy. We were both got our start in sketch comedy. We both love UFOs. We're both into poker. The main difference between us is that you have been more successful than me, but on the other hand, I'm younger. So I want to thank you, Dave Foley, for joining us on Have I Got News for Your Ears. I hope you'll come back on Have I Got News for You, the mothership, as we call it. Thank you, Dave Foley. Thanks for coming on and being a part of the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks to my guest, Dave Foley, and thanks to all of you for listening to Have I Got News for Your Ears. I'm Michael Ian Black alongside Jim Biederman and Jodi Lennon. We hope to see you next week. Have I Got News for Your Ears releases new episodes every Wednesday. Don't miss an episode. Follow us on Apple, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Even better, watch the Vodcast on Spotify or on the Have I Got News for You YouTube channel. Keep an ear open. Very soon we have something fun planned to include you, our Hignify fans. So please follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel to find out more.